Hello, friends. Welcome back to Lore and More here on the Just Shev channel. I'm Jesse Arnold, and today we're continuing our dive into the All-Star 6 wave with our first heroic figure and the second figure of the wave that I'm reviewing, Sir Andrew. So for those of you who are coming for the first time, Lore and More is a figure review based on the story, the background, the bio, and the locations and connections of the character within the overall story and plot of Mythic Legions. I'll comment a little bit on the accessories and parts and my overall thoughts on the figure, but it's mainly going to focus on the lore of the character. So let's just jump right into it. Like I said, he is the second figure getting reviewed here in the All-Star 6 wave. You can see all the characters, and then the accessories have their own little thing, which will probably just be a bonus there at the end of the series for All-Star 6. So let's just dive right into Sir Andrew with his toy details. He is released as part of All-Star 6 wave. His accessories include a Templar sword with scabbard, dagger with sheath, a large elf sword, a kite shield, sword flame effect, magic spell effect, and 3 sets of hands. He comes with additional heads, a chainmail coif with a new faceplate and a visor, plus a repentant, quote-unquote, pig face helmet, and first released with the Father Christmas figura obscura. And for character details, he is from the Order of Aetheron, which is one of the, like I said, one of the good heroic factions. They serve one of the great beasts, Aetheron, the crowned or golden eagle. He is a human, and his role within the faction is Pyromancer. And now, added this section here, part of the map. So this is the official map of Mythos that we have fully revealed from Four Horsemen. So this is the continent of Mythos, with a little bit of the Northlands there at the top, and I zoomed in on the second part of this. Aetheros is this, it's kind of the bottom, I guess it would be the southeast corner of the map of the main continent. There is where the Order of Aetheron functions out of. You can see, my mouse can't highlight it on screen, but right in that kind of top corner towards the point is the crowned city where the Aetheron's temple is located. Sir Andrew's biography. Now this one's a little bit lengthy, and it will get broken up into a couple pages. So he was born to a humble conjurer and a witch. Andrew grew up on the eastern base of the Evergrey Mountains, raised to be a caretaker to the wild. Tragedy struck his quiet life while misusing a powerful spell of renewal on a dying flame. The spell was too much for the young boy to control. Andrew accidentally blasted the small home he shared with his family, killing them all instantly. So tragedy strikes in the young boy's life. And I wanted to zoom in a little bit here back to the map. So he grew up, it says, on the eastern base of the Evergrey Mountains, which is this mountain range in Lower Ophidian, which is the southwest side of the continent. And that is where the convocation of Basilia functions out of. So it'd be somewhere down to where that big cluster of white mountains is. It says somewhere on the eastern base. So somewhere down in that way. I keep forgetting my mouse is not showing up on screen. But so somewhere during that white blob at the bottom of the screen on the right-hand side there. Continuing on with the bio. Responding to the great mystical energy he felt unleashed nearby, Doran Runeshaper found the grieving fledgling magic user trying to revive his parents using more spells that he was ill-prepared to cast. Taking pity on the orphan and seeing great potential in his abilities, Joran took Andrew under his wing. The dwarven mage vowed to guide his new charge and help him harness the flame that grew within him for the cause of good. Trained for years in the magical schools of Ophidian, Sir Andrew eventually became a powerful pyromancer, a discipline as rare as it is powerful. Seeking absolution for his greatest mistake, Andrew eventually traveled to Aetheros, where he joined the Order, committed to protecting life the way he was raised by his family. Andrew vowed to use his flames to destroy any who would seek to do evil. Recognized For his convictions and devotion to the Order, Sir Andrew now leads the Repentant, a small band of criminals who volunteer to fight the undead to atone for past wrongdoings. Sir Andrew's flames destroy the undead enemy and his fallen allies alike. For what is ash cannot rise again. All right, so in that story, we got a couple connections. Obviously, we got Sir Andrew here at the top. He does start off being trained after his accident with his family and raised by Jorund Runeshaper, who is a dwarf from the Convocation of Basilia in Ophidian, which if you go, let's see, if I go back to the map, so the Tower of Basilia is right there, kind of on the center part of Ophidian, up north in the mountains. So Jorund Runeshaper was nearby when this disaster happened, and took young Andrew, after he just lost his family, to train and raise him up in knowing how to use magic. And eventually, he then traveled east to Etheros and joined the Order of Etheron. And it says he leads a group called the Repentant. So it's the figure, as it said, came with an alternate head, and that is with the other head. So there's his main head there with the face and the liftable visor, and the secondary head is that pig face helmet in the bottom of this image. And just because I wanted to have another piece of graphic on there, I put the Order of Etheron, since he came from Ophidian but was switched over to Etheros and became part of the Order. There's not a lot of detail about the Repentant at this point, other than he is the leader, and they were criminals who volunteered to fight the undead to atone for the past wrongdoings. Now, most of these figures are set during the Return of the Dark Four, and the Second Great War, and all of those things. So I don't know if this is a group that existed previously, or if this is a group that came up under Sir Andrew that he put together, or if it's a group that he was just given charge of because of his devotion and skills. So it seems like they're specifically tasked. Now, Etheron, the Order of Etheron, is directly opposed to the Congregation of Necronominus. So each of the four heroic and dark factions are linearly opposed to each other. But of course, all the good guys are going to fight all the bad guys, etc., etc. But these guys are dedicated to fighting the undead to atone for their past. And Jorund, being a magic user from the Convocation of Basilia, listed here as the mentor and teacher that found Andrew. Just fun little shots of the figure himself, and we'll pull that down. Now again, I don't have the best lighting here at the desk, and my point isn't about the figure itself, but he is a really awesome figure. Comes with some killer soft goods. This very detailed, kind of feathered cape with multiple layers. It's wired. He has a similar matching soft goods waist piece and loin that matches the tunic of the torso and everything. He's got killer pauldrons, these kind of feathered winged pauldrons to go right along with the Order of Etheron. There's his elf sword. And the flame effect. There's another power effect that I don't have with him currently. His sword and his dagger, his kite shield, and the visored helmet that does lift up and down. And I'd have to check my package. I think that listing of the chainmail might be a misprint on the figure pieces, or the toy details. And then I used some of the belts pack pieces and swapped the belt to be a left, so it could be a right-handed draw. And I gave him the pig face helmet there. Now these pauldrons are from Zende, from the Poxus wave, but they are very close enough in that coppery bronze color to his armor that I thought they would just be a nice touch on there. So this is my one fellow repentant soldier with him. Again, it's got that newer, what's it called? The Valiant Knight articulation, so the better articulation on the arms and the torsos and everything. It does come with both the regular standard handle for the shield and the C-clip, which I like because then you can put something else in his hand. So yeah, altogether is a fantastic figure. One that you can army build to use a couple different. If you want to build out your Repentant, I'm sure there will be more helmets coming down the road at some point that are similar in color. Or if you're like myself and you're a customizer, it's easy enough to match that color with some paints and just a little bit of gold trim. So there we go. That is episode 2 of Lore and More, focusing on Sir Andrew, the heroic pyromancer of the Order of Aetheron. Started off with a tragic story that switched to him leading his own kind of sub-unit within the Order, which is, I think, really cool. So beautiful figure, great details. I know Joe Vazzapolo had a hand in the design, the build, and the story of this character. The only negative things I have about this figure is, and it's not as bad as some of the other ones in this wave, and even then they're my nitpicky negatives, is the soft goods, because they're so layered, they're so thick, getting the pauldrons on were a little bit more difficult, and the chain, because it's so small and delicate, just be real careful when you're attaching it so you don't rip the chain out of the back. I mean, if you're good with a needle and thread, it's easy enough to fix. But again, it's just the nature of the smaller, more delicate pieces. But he's good. I'm gonna probably dye his upper soft goods and use that on a custom down the road. But yeah, it's a great figure, awesome character. I really love this story, and the flame. The fact that they gave him a blue flame, that ties into the fact that he was trying to revive a dying flame. Maybe we'll find out more about what that is and why that backfired. And it's just interesting because it's the first, he's the son of a conjurer and a witch. So that's a unique parentage for someone. You might not expect that for a heroic character in your typical, high fantasy heroic story. So I'm really interested to see if we get some more details about him in the forthcoming books. And as more figures and characters come out, we learn more about Sir Andrew and the Repentant in the Order of Aetheron. So thank you all for being here today. Hope you have a great rest of your week or whatever time you're watching this. Make sure to, like, subscribe, all that jazz. We've got some more coming up next. And I will be definitely going back and reviewing old figures just to fill in the gaps between releases coming in and whatnot and all that. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining me here on Lore and More. And until next time, what's on your shelf?